Welcome back to JJW Outdoors. Justin here. Today I have a new tarp and I want to share with you how we can turn this tarp into a tent. For this demonstration, I am going to be using a 10x10 tarp. This setup I'm going to be showing you is mainly for a 10x10 tarp, nothing smaller. I am using the Outdoor Fitters Bushcraft tarp for this one. This tarp size is about the same as your one-person tent. So you're going to need a few things for this. You're going to need a tarp itself, like I said, a 10x10 tarp. And then we're going to need one pole, and it's going to be a ridge pole for the middle. And then you're going to need some stakes. So let's go cut some stakes. First things first, we got to find some dead sticks so we can make some stakes. Let's do it. Now that we have our tarp and we have our stakes, now we're gonna lay the tarp out and measure for our middle pole. What's really cool about this setup is, like a tent, you need extra poles. This one you do not. So that's really awesome, and it keeps it super lightweight for you. Like a tent, it also has stakes. You do need stakes for this one. So before we dive into the tarp and see what it looks like, let's clear out this area really quick and get it roughly flat for us. Alright, let's dive in now, see what it really looks like. This is the first time me really opening up this tarp, except for seeing if there's any holes when I first bought it. So this tarp I'm using has 16 these right here grommets. Beaty boys, what you doing? Go off, come on, over here. Alright, so what we're gonna do, peeps, go off. We're gonna lay it out, kind of the area where we want it. We're gonna lay it out in its perfect square. Come on, peeps, move. Good job, buddy. Alright, doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be a little rough. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab 2 stakes. So I kind of misspoke earlier. This tarp has tie-out tabs is what they're called. Grommets are built right into the tarp itself. This one is reinforced tabs that come off of it. So what we want to do first is we want to get our 2 stakes and come out here to our end of our tarp, where we have our 2 tabs out here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 stakes and then we're going to take our 2 tabs here. And what we're going to do is we're going to move this one tab in so it lines up with this tab. And we're going to throw this tab out of the way like that. And we're going to stake down our first tab right here. Just like that. So now you want to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. Here's your second tab. You want to move your first tab into where your second tab is. Throw that tab away. And then you want to grab your stick or stake and put it right in the ground. Just like that. So now that you have those two staked down like that, now we want to get the back staked down. So now we want to go diagonal this way, and we want to pull it somewhat tight, and we want to stake down the back here, and then we want to stake down the back here in the middle. And then we want to stake down the other end. And when we stake down the other end, we kind of want to pull it tight so the whole back's tight. Just like that. So now that you have your tarp staked down, now we want to get the pole for the middle. So we want to find a stick, something like this. Doesn't have to be this big of a diameter, but it has to be something close like this. So I am 5'9", almost 5'10", and what you want is you want a 5-foot ridge pole. So we're going to cut it right here to give us a little bit of wiggle room. So now your pole's cut, we're going to take the heavier end, which is the thicker end, and we're going to put it towards the bottom, and we're going to put the skinnier diameter towards the top. Now when we do this, we want to round off the top. So you got your knife out, and we want to round off the top like this. Just a little bit. You just want to get the sharp points off. Just like that. Get almost all the sharp points off for sure. So now we're going to use the bag it came with and some grass for this demonstration. So let's get some grass right here. Just gonna rip some up, make sure there's no sand. Make sure there's no sharp sticks, anything like that. Okay, now that you have some grass, we're gonna take this and we're gonna shove it right inside our bag. Then we're gonna take our bag and we're gonna put it right on the end of our stick. Just like that. So another alternative to this is I carry a bandana with me. You can always wrap your bandana up and put it on here, or you can use your trusty old sock, just to keep that in mind. So now what we're going to do with our stick is we're going to pick up our tarp, and it's going to be the part that we moved in is going to be our entrance. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go 1/3 distance in. So my tarp is already set up for it. It's going to be the first tab in. So we're going to put our stick in here like this to our first tab. We're going to move up like this, and this is where you might have to adjust your stick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some string and we're going to tie out this part out just like this. So take your string, you can tie whatever knot you want. I'm just going to do a couple overhand knots because this is tar bank line. It will stay very, very well for me. So now you're going to be wondering, Justin, this don't look so good. We're going to make it look way better. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit more string and we're going to tie this out so it goes just like this down to the ground. So now we're going to pull this one this way. We're going to get a stake and we're going to stake down this section right here like that. Then we're going to take a piece of string and we're going to tie this right to here. So now that our other side is tied down, now we're going to do the same thing to this side. So we're going to start off by tying that. We're going to get ourselves a stake and we're going to stake it down just like that. Stake our tab down like this. We're going to take this, we're going to kind of measure it. We're going to cut this like this. So now you can kind of see our sides a little sloppy. We just want to pull this tab out like this, stake it down here. Oop, a little bit more. Like that. And then we want to come back here to our back and we want to tighten it all up like that. And you want to do that going all the way around. The back, the other side, and then we'll be all set. Just like that, you have an awesome tent slash tarp setup. All right, peeps, come on, buddy. Let's get in, come on. Good boy. He's a good boy. And just like that, you can easily see it is enough room for one person for sure, that I can sleep like this, or I can sleep diagonal, and this will give me even more room like this. But if you really had to, you can get 2 people in here. So the only thing you want to keep in mind is, yes, it's a lightweight tarp setup, but you also have to have a ground sheet with you, because when you're camping, you do not want to be on the ground. I would have chose a spot that's not as hilly because it kind of dips in here, but I can easily put a sleeping pad here or a sleeping pad diagonally. You get a lot more room diagonal because it's kind of the corners of the tarp right here a little bit better. I'm sure I can pull the middle out a little bit more if I really wanted to, but you can easily get a sleeping bag or something in here. I mean, a sleeping pad and then your sleeping bag on top. Best part is all your gear will fit right beside you and it's perfect, and a fire out front. So what's really nice is, once you have this set up once, you can just leave this string right on it, which is really helpful. If you tie a special knot on each end, which I'll be showing that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned, you can make this so it's very adjustable if needed. But now you can just leave the strings on there, you don't have to monkey with it, you don't have to fuss with it, it's just ready to go for you. And then if you don't carry stakes with you, at the end of cleanup, you just pull these up, pull the tabs, and you can just toss away your stakes, which is really, really nice and helpful for you. Just like that. Take your bag right off. Get your grass out. So one thing about this tarp I really, really like is they gave you tons and tons of room in the bag. So if you did want to keep your stakes, or you brought stakes with you, you can easily shove them in this bag as well. And then you don't even have to fold the tarp up. You can just shove the tarp right in there just like this, and you have tons of room. So that way you can keep your string attached at all times. You can keep your stakes all together. The only thing you probably will not be able to get in here is a ground sheet. So you would have to pack that separately. Just like that. See how it's really, really compact. You can throw this right in your pack, no problem. So once again, all you need for this shelter setup is a tarp, a cutting tool. Now I mostly use the saw, but you can just use your knife if you just wanted to use that. String, stakes if you want to bring your stakes or cut your own stakes, and some kind of a pole. And then you either need grass or you can use your sock. So thank you so much for clicking on this video, watching all the way through. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because I got a lot more adventures for you on the way. Here, peeps. Here. All right, peeps. Say goodbye. Let's get going.